Hi there. I'm on my way to the gym, but before I do that, I wanted to leave this here for you. This morning, I was doing my devotional and I was encouraged by the passage that I read. Okay. Something stood out to me. And what stood out to me was that there is divine favor, there is divine enablement, that God is able to do what you cannot do to get you to where you want to get to. You see, I was reading about Ruth and Naomi. They were both widows at this point. And Ruth told Naomi she was going to go and find a field that she would glean in so she can have some grains for them to eat. And as I began to read, I came across two words, or three, I would say. It said, as it turned out. Now, I don't think that as it turned out was a coincidence. As it turned out, Ruth happened to find herself gleaning in the field of Boaz. Now, if you've read the story, you know how it ended up. She ended up marrying Boaz. But that was just one divine intervention. I began to read further down in verse 3, and it says, it just so happened. Do you see that? Do you see that? It just so happened that homeboy, Boaz, he was out of town, the owner of the field. But it just so happened that he showed up when Ruth was in the field. I don't think that's coincidence. I think that was another divine orchestration. Now, this is what I'm trying to tell you. All Ruth had to do was get up. All Ruth had to do was take action. That's all she did. She made a decision. She was going to go after what she needed. And then she started going after it. And God took care of the rest. He led her into the field, right? Where she will actually become an owner of the field. And he just so orchestrated it that Boaz will meet her right there. I don't know what you're after. I don't know what your dreams are. I don't know what you're chasing. I don't know what you're hoping for. I don't know how wide the gap is between where you are and where you want to go. But I do know one thing is that after you've done all that you can, there is something called divine intervention. There is something called divine way making. There is something called divine favor. There is something called divine enablement. And I believe in that because I've seen that work in my own life. I'm not going to lie to you. I have desires and things that I've wanted, but I will promise you, you will not find me shifting. You will not find me twisting myself, molding myself, being who I'm not to get what I want. I rest in the knowing that if it is God's will for me, if he doesn't give it to me now, it's because I'm not ready for it. And it's hard at times. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. No. But I've learned enough and I've observed and I've seen how God has shown up for me enough to know that when the time is right, if I do all that I need to do, he will do what I can't.